Okay, guys, so back. All right, we're back into this live section. All right, there's Moro coming. Anyways, hello guys. If you're seated already, I don't have energy today, but it's fine. All right, like just starting, like we just started. So, if you're okay, firstly, it's more like our audience and returning viewers. So we're going to be doing more of a coming, and it's more like what we're doing. And before we get up to that, it's just more like viewers will come, returning viewers will come, returning audience. Like viewer that you, any viewer that you, any audience that your presence is regarded. What's it called? Is regarded. Do you get like is very like we really regard it. So that's what that and as I said, we just started and we'll set. Yeah, we'll set. We have you have something to really strict on today. Oh, matter and if almost of UFGRAPHICS and we're so happy to see you in our live stream session today. Thanks for joining our live stream session. And we normally teach and we're going to be saying our objective maybe because of people that have not been or people that don't really know what we're doing. Because of that, for that is more like our objective, and our objective is simple. It's just more like teaching young students, you get. And if this is your first time of seeing us, you should pay attention around here. This is more like our objective, what we've been doing so far, like anything online, what we're talking about is more like guiding young adults, teaching them more like life after school. Obviously, so this part actually is very, very crucial. Like this part of their life is very, very necessary that people that are not even guided, like people that's more like above, people that have graduated, most of them that lacked this information, most of them that were not able to gain this knowledge, most of them that are being stuck, most of them are being confused. And this still when you see young adults, graduated adults being confused outside life and being like it starts sounding or looking like school is really a scam. So that's what we're actually here to avoid. And if you'll be joining us for a while now, you should know what was set for. And we normally tell people that this is more like a movement to reach a broader audience, undergraduate students, young adults, precisely because their lives is important. Of course, we love them, and we not want them to make the same mistakes. It's just more like showing them the loopholes, like things to avoid in life, what afterlife really means. And school is not even teaching it. That's the most painful part of it. School will just teach you how to read, how to school is just that's when we tell students that school is prepared though. School is structured, real life is not structured. So what was in our life session is more like structuring real life for undergraduate students. I don't know, is there because them knowing this is going to really help them in navigating the process. Like they are not going to make the mistakes. It's just more like informing them, bringing it to their view, more like opening their eyes. Not to put fear up, because if we say about opening their eyes, and when we tell people that are brutal through life after school, they will be like, ah, this one that is brutal, are you really serious? So it's more like opening their eyes, you get, not to put fear, open their eyes to really see real reality. And real reality research, people are not talking about, people are just interested motivation, hyping people, but this is the real matter of why you see young people failing, why we see graduated people failing, do you get. And most of them lacking this information they say this power. Probably had it been the people that failed know better, they would have as well live better. So this is more like the root cause challenges that they are usually facing outside life, real world, when they have graduated. So we are not actually prepared for that, and they did not even see it coming. And their mind and their, I don't know, it's just more like their mental and emotional this thing, we are not even developed a kind of expecting it, because we tell to them that these things are more like what's it called, mandatory, more like inevitable. It's definitely going to come. You're definitely going to experience failure. You're going to experience depression, rejections outside life. These things are things that you ought to prepare when you're still in school. Like position your mind for the transition stage. That's when you've graduated. Do you get? So probably we're going to be graduate. So we're trying to position our mind as well, and that's more like teaching you young adults. And I said, if you're saying not for yourself, what I said now is just more like objective. Like we have up to 100 and section stream already. That is what we've been saying. But in different kids, that's like the brutal true life after school. That is the more like the master. And we're making topics definitely, or we're making more like topics that is really pointing towards that. So that's for that. And I also hope that it's able to, what's it called, like it's able to analyze it or whatever it kind of. So welcome back again. This web graphics. If you're seeing us for the first time, I'm happy to see. Hope this thing is not sweat. I beg, I don't want to sweat. I don't want to sweat. Anyways, we just started, like we were just started, and everybody in this live stream session, we're happy to see you guys. Thanks for doing our live stream session. We're going to be progressing, and if this is your first time of seeing us, you can give us a thumbs up. Let's add your name in our blue book. Here we normally bring cookies for we call them VIP ODS. And if I like, are you sure we're not going to turn it to VIP student? Because from what I'm teaching undergraduate students, yes, it's from now henceforth our book is VIP students book. I don't know if you want to join. Yes, tell us your name and your country. We'll add your name. We'll bring cookies for you now. Let's next live session. So that's what we do here. Anyways, guys, so we have something on our thumbnail, more like regretting course. I don't know. That's something like that, and that's what I'm going to quickly emphasize on. So we're not going to pour you too much weight. If you're seated already, grab your chair very tight. Or more like progression. And I said my objective is to teach students, well, that's what you prioritize, to make them see the problems that await them, because this is life now. We teach life after school, so we want to prepare them for their outside life, when they have graduated, and they ought to prepare it now that they are still in school. Have you seen it? And moreover, school will not even teach you. Imagine school leaving your course, your area of what's it called, career or whatever, and start teaching you how to make money, how to plan, how to think, and how to resolve issues, life lessons. It's not possible. School is not going to teach you that. So that's what we're here actually to cover. And not teaching it to students not being aware of it is going to lead them to a lot of things. This is still okay. That's why we tell you that there is a lot of graduated people out there suffering, being stuck, underpaid, looking confused. So it's just beyond academics, and it's not even a result of because they were not intelligent. Most of them are intelligent. Most of them can think well, very well. But the issue there is information. Like they were not just prepared on this part. So this part is really necessary because it's to guide you. Like okay, is okay, part of what we said. It's just why we teach students about what's it called, financial intelligence. Now you just imagine someone that you're not opportunity to get the knowledge, financial intelligence, and you were in school and you were not, like, you did not track your, or what's it called, spending, and you were spending lavishly and all of that. Now nobody told you about, like, guide you on that part. Now you're going to be graduating and still spend as the way you have been doing when you were still in school. So it's going to really affect you, because outside life you're more like an adult, you're more like an independent person, you're not with your family. Like you're going to start, or what's it called, cashing your bills, fixing things, solving your issues, solving problems, like carrying out your own, executing your own things by yourself. Now imagine when you're not well disciplined in financial aspect, you're going to you're going to spend more than you're earning, and that is going to run you into deficits. Definitely you're going to struggle. Obviously, so it's on the matter of what's it called, intelligence, sorry, financial intelligence, I mean. So that is it. And students not being guided, we have a lot of topics that we've treated when it has to do with guiding students on the path of life after school. There is a lot. So we tell students this is a movement, because it's going to come, like there's going to be a time when we were going to start going to schools, cities, nations. Like it's going to definitely come. So it's more like a dream. So even if it's sounding big, yes, it's a dream, and it's a what's it called, it's more like a progressive stuff. And we normally stream it every day, and not just for streaming sake, to help our young people. So regardless of their country, they are going to be really benefiting from us. So that's what was said, and that's enough. That's more like objective and all of that. So I'll just quickly rush into the topic, like to this live section now. What is on the thumbnail there? Something, or what's it called? Well, if you're just joining, the ground is open. You're free to tell us your name, and you're free to tell us your country. Is not an issue. Anyways, we're going to be progressing deeply now. As I said, we have something on our thumbnail which we're going to be emphasizing on now. So that's more like many students will regret course. Like many students will regret their course. I don't know how it sounds. It's sounding harsh, but I'll just try to, like a kind of not to sound too harsh, but this is reality. Like many students is going to regret what they are studying, the career they choose, the discipline they choose. Like they are going to regret it in future time. Now, what we're going to be detailing down in this definition, you're going to be like telling you why they are going to be regretting it, the factors that is going to cause it, and how possible they can still, or what's it called, escape way. Because what we do in our live stream session is more like we bring a problem, we will tell our young people the consequences, like what it can whatever, and more like solution. That's the final, we bring solution. So if we're not bringing solution, it's not making sense that we're bringing problem now. So do you get? So we'll actually show them the way out. So this today's live stream session, the objective, more like what we're aiming, like what we're actually trying to guide students is more like after today's session, no, they will discover how to fix it, even if they are on the wrong path, like even if they're on the wrong course. Do you get? Because being on the wrong course can actually make you regret your course, like your area of study now, like what you actually studied in the university. So there is still a way, inside a way there is still a way. Okay, they will tell you that inside the way there is still a way. So there is probably a way that you are going to still navigate. Like, do you get? So they are really going to, what's it called, okay, it's just more like they are going to learn how to avoid regrets. They are going to actually learn how to avoid it. Avoiding it is going to save them a lot of stress, and understanding why many graduating regrets, because all these things is just more like objective, like what students, it's just like what they are expected to earn at the end. So firstly, what we have here is more like the shocking reality. Yes, now the shocking reality, we're going to be talking more of why, like the cause of these things, like why is it even happen, like why is happening. You get? That's the shocking reality. Now many students realize too late. Now the shocking reality is very very hard though, but I'm going to be saying it. Now the shocking reality is when students use a course, like when they have graduated, NYC, or graduate, what's it called, NYC, and when people students have graduated. Now the real reality there is very very rampant, and more like very very common in our society and every place, that we see a lot of students after graduating, they'll be like, I don't like what I studied. What will I even do with it? What career is it leading me to? This question is sounding abnormal, like it's not making sense. This is not a question that a young graduate should be asking, because you would have a kind of actually figured it out when you were still in school, not at that stage. And being confused at that stage, it's more like something else. Do you get? Imagine when you're done spending your resources and time in school, you're just out asking, what is my career for, like what am I going to actually do with it? And that's more like the starting point of the regret, and it's not always coming out well. Okay, the next thing we have here is more like why students choose wrong courses. Why students choose, so is it possible that students can intentionally and graciously and awarenessly choose wrong course? It's not, is it making sense? It's still possible. Like, okay, let me tell you a story. Okay, I don't know, but I don't even know how to explain this part. Like, students wrongly choosing a career, it's possible. Now, firstly, the consequence, or let's just say what can cause it, or let's just say the things that can necessitate it, is one is more like pressure from family. Now family pressure can cause a youth, or a kind of an undergraduate student, taking up something that he or she normally wouldn't love. Now let's assume that I'm a guy, like of course I'm a guy now. Maybe I'm done with my secondary school. I was like, I want to choose a career to chess in future and all of that. Then my parents are going to start suggesting. That's why I said family, or what's it called, family pressure. Now most times is wrong, and that's why we tell our parents particularly that you can suggest, but you shouldn't mandate. Like everybody must not be good academically. Most people is skill, most people is techniques and what's it called, machines and all of that, like arts work. So it's best to know or the one that fits your kid a kind of, or you should really know the one that is going to really work well for the person. So that's, you shouldn't just compare. That's where the real problem, most students, most parents get their children into something that they feel that is going to be working well. Most times it doesn't work well. So that's the issue here. We said pressures from families, from parents precisely, and we said most times it's not always coming out well. The following friends. Now, students can actually choose a wrong career path because of friends. Yes, something happened. Let me share you a story. This is more like a personal story. When we were still in secondary school back then, my friend and I, we were just trying to ask, like, we were just saying, we're going to study law, we're going to study law. Now, most people choose to study law. Like, we were plenty that was saying, at first we were small, quite a number, saying that we're going to study law, we're going to study law. Many people now joined us, we're going to study law because they are our friends and they feel that we're popular, like we're many. Have you seen? So, friends can actually initiate other friends from a kind of adapting to what they choose or what they believe. Obviously, so we're seeing most times it's everybody, I don't know, everybody's created differently, of course. Like, I'm a different being. For the fact that I have a friend, that doesn't mean that our future is going to work out too, or our future is in the same path. And people don't get this. So most people, or let's just say most friends, choose the same thing because of their friend or what their friend choose. And most times it doesn't end well. Most times it ends well for one person. Now imagine when two people choose to study law and you're not too good in education and maybe you're good in tech or artwork, but just because I'm your friend and you just decided to study law, you're going to be confused. You're going to be studying the law, you're going to study it, but you're not going to be happy because that's not where your talent is aligned. Like, you're not just comfortable with it. Maybe you are compared, or like there's no joy, like you're not going to be comfortable. That's just the emphasis, studying it. So that's for friends, like feeling just because your friend is doing something, and that's as well comparison. It's more like leading us to comparison. And even if we're to advise students on comparison, it's not to compare, because if you're comparing yourself, you're going to be fake, factual. Like, when you compare yourself, it's more like saying to yourself that you're not enough, like you're not best. And you say, oh, we don't really talk to them that actually you can develop yourself. If you feel that somebody is better than you, the best thing is to develop yourself, like be competent, like get get back to yourself. You get that, just the emphasis, and not just to compare, because at the stage of comparing, you compare, you're still being so, you're still being novice, like you're still getting yourself more confused, and it's not coming out well. So that's not the best thing to do. Even when you're feeling backward, people are ahead of you can ask questions, you can ask how are you doing this, but not to compare, because at the stage of comparison, you're more like being getting blank, like you're more like regretting. It's more like a regretting state. There's nothing good can come out from you. That's what it's really referring to, by you comparing yourself, thinking that people are definitely ahead of you, and you will start questioning your worth. And it's not just, it's not making sense that you compare yourself. So that's the emphasis for that one. And we're talking about friends, that's what drives us there. Do you get? So another thing is lack of information. Information is power. If you know better, you live better. So most people don't have information. Now information, I mean, in this aspect of choosing a career, because what we're fishing at, what students choose. Okay, like why students choose wrong courses. Yes, that is our main emphasis, what we're even talking about it. Like, why your students choose wrong courses. And we said, firstly, we said parents. Most parents compare. Yes, and we said follow friends. Like, people just do or feel to do something just because their friends are doing it. Now the next stuff is lack of information. Now people get into something that they don't really know about. Now it's advisable, before you undergo or before you take up any career to chase in life, or before you conclude on any career or track to take, you should make appropriate research. You should know what is fading, you should know what is diminishing, you should know what is coming up. Now imagine when you're going to be choosing a career path, and after your years studying, you're going to only realize that there's no work, like your work, your career or path is outdated, or machines or automated AI has taken over your work. It's not making sense. You're going to come and be like, oh more, I studied nonsense. Like it's not going to always, it's not going to go well. So it's very, very appropriate. You should make research, know the current things, know more like, it's just more like the relevance and a kind of, I don't know, like your I don't know. I lack words to explain that, but it's just more like knowing what, just making a lot of research on the path you want to take, knowing how it's going to be 5 years to come and all of those stuff. So that's more like the emphasis on that. Chasing prestige, chasing prestige. There's something about prestige. Chasing prestige is part of it. It's part of something that can make students to choose something wrong for him or herself. Now, prestige, let's assume that medicine or massage, when people hear it, it gives respect. Or when you are asked, now imagine somebody, okay, let's say, let me give an instance. Two students are attending a university, and maybe peradventure both of them happen to undergo an interview, and they were asked, what are you studying in school? One said entrepreneur, one said massage. Now, literally, the person that said massage, maybe he or she is going to be a kind of honored, I don't know, a kind of that, or a regarded more than the entrepreneurs. I know this is more like creating a particular cause above the other one. I don't know. So this can so happen maybe when someone said I studied entrepreneur, the other one said I studied nursing. Have you seen? So people may feel like the person that studied nursing is more high. Have you seen? And they may give you more respect. That's what prestige is all about. And for saying here, people can choose a career path just because of discipline, just because they want to feel respected or they want to feel valued. Have you seen? And most times, feeling valued is not the ultimate. Like, what is the outcome of what you're choosing? Not just the prestige, not just the respect that comes along. So this are things why students choose the wrong course. Like this unnecessary things that can necessitate choosing the wrong course. So just for them to avoid it. Now, signs you may regret your course. These are signs signals. I don't know. Now, this is more like signs. We don't want you to regret your course. So, yes, like real. We don't want you to regret your course. We don't want our Kenya students. We don't want our Nigerian students. We don't want our what's it called, South American students, United students. We don't want them to regret that course. Do you get? So it's more like showing them the blueprint, like loopholes. Do you get, like things they actually need to be fixing, because them fixing it is going to really save them from a lot of stress. Like they are not going to still make mistakes, because these are actually the mistakes that students did. And one more like bringing it to teach them. Probably you must not learn from your own mistakes. You definitely most times you learn from other people's mistakes, so as well not to do the same mistake. Have you seen? So we don't want you to learn from your mistake. We want you to learn from other people's mistakes. So these are possible mistakes that students has a kind of encounter. So but more like sharing it to see you how to really navigate in order not to do the same mistake. So that's for that. Now I mention of science you may regret your course. Like science you may regret your course. One is that you don't, okay, you have no interest. Like there's something about interest, like literally looking at the word interest is more like being interested in something, like you actually being involved in something, showing interest, like giving all, like being there presently, like you're just attaching yourself. That's more like interest. So imagine you're doing a course, or you're undergoing a course, or your, I don't know, your career path, there's no interest, like you lack interest. Now it's going to really, it's not going to come out well. You lack interest in the sense of you're just there doing it, just studying it just for studying sake, reading, definitely not enjoying what you're doing. It's not making sense. So you're, maybe you were doing it because you were compared or whatever. That's more like the interest is not there. So that's more like the lack of interest. I always said you don't see a future in it. There is something about seeing future. Now seeing future can be maybe you're doing something, you know what, you know where you're going to be ending with it, you know how it's going to lead you, you know the kind of what's it called, more like skills, things that you need to build or put in place, have that is going to necessitate or that is going to really help you in executing that work well in maybe near future or a kind of. So that's more like future, like you don't see anything in it, you don't see future in it, you don't even see yourself or ending well with that in future. So it's more like signs you may regret. So these are possible signs that you're going to be seeing or feeling like that is more like you're going to regret your course, but we don't want it. Okay, the next signs here is no skill development. Now imagine when you're just doing theory and moreover we say life is changing, everything is getting digitalized, advanced, everything is moving, or what's it called, progressing and kind of developing. So things have really changed when people feel that theoretical stuff can really help people a lot. Now we're telling students that even when you're doing any course, whatever you're doing, you have to attach practical skills with it because it shows that you know what you're doing. Do you get? Hi, greetings. I know this face. I know you joined my live stream section yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I know this face. I know this face. Anyways, thanks for joining the live stream session. I don't know. You came late, so I'm going to penalize you. You pay us for coming late. You students, you're going to pay us for coming late. Your teacher has been here waiting for you all talking on this one. But it's fine. Anyways, thanks for joining the live stream session. We're happy to see you. And okay, I saw every single person here. You all are welcome to the live stream session. So I've been seeing a lot of already, but maybe I'm not going to be going back. Maybe after the live stream session, you're going to stream it. I'm going to be progressing. Anyways, that's all. That's I'm just on the point of signs you may regret your call. Okay, maybe I'm going to be briefing everything. Maybe for the sake of people that are joining now. Firstly, today's subheading or whatever we're doing today is more like many students may regret their course. Now, we're saying this is more like career now. You know, career path, like choosing a career, maybe law or nursing, all of those stuff. Now we said many students may regret whatever they choose. Now, these are the factors that maybe that can cause or that is going to be causing students from regretting it. And we'll be saying a lot. Okay, firstly we said like the shocking reality. Now it's very very shocking. I'm going to be just be brief. Most students graduate only noticing that they don't even love what they studied, like they don't even love the career that they are currently in, and you cannot do anything about it because it's too late. And this is things that they should maybe have figured out before then. Everything. So that's for that. Why students choose the wrong course? Now we said most at times why students choose the wrong course is because most times it's from family pressure. Parents may want their child to maybe study law and all of that. Maybe the child in question is more like a tech student, all of that. Have you seen? So there is not going to be aligned, and most times it's not going to end well. So as for that, we said again, since you may regret your course, we said you have no interest. We explained that you don't see any future. There's something about future, knowing where you're actually heading to with your career. Now, okay, most people, most accountants, okay, maybe let's just use for instance, people studying accounting in school, they may be like, I'm going to work in bank. Have you seen? That's more like future, like the way they are earning with whatever they are studying. Have you seen? So most times if you don't know where you're going to be earning with what you're studying, that's a sign that you're going to regret your what you call your career path. You don't want that for you. Anyways, we're progressing, and we said most times it's not the course. So like the course is not, the discipline is not the problem. Most times the real problem is lack of exposure. There's something about exposure that people don't know. Exposure is just more like you exploring, get some involved in a lot of things. As the name implies, exposure, like it's more like getting to a broader things, like exposing yourself to things, getting to learn, getting to listen, getting to be mentored and all of those stuff. That is a detailed explanation of exposure. Now when you know better, as I said, you leave barrier. So when you expose yourself, you need to actually get to mingle with people that are wiser. People definitely you're going to be wiser, and you're going to gain something from them. Do you get? So that's something about exposure. And maybe when you're exposed, you're going to know better, and it's going to save you from stress of regretting your course. Yeah, lack of skill. skills cannot be overemphasized. Skills is more like practical, and skills has cadres, as we do say, and it relates to a lot of things. A lot of things there is skills like skills is very broad, but what we're generalizing it that skills is necessary, that every student you should acquire. Like you can be competent in anything. That's more like a skill, and we said it's more like an extra advantage for you. Yes, if you're skillful in a particular thing, is an advantage extra to your degree, extra to your qualification and your certificate. So that's how it works. And being skillful, that we said it's more like an advantage as we normally say, and lack of planning, that is this is crucial. Like if you don't plan well, it's more like natural. If you don't plan something well, you're not going to execute it well. Very factual. No big gram like the I don't know how to explain that. It's not super power of a thing. If you don't plan something well, it's not going to come out well. So planning is part of the issue. Most of them don't get to plan. Most of them just get into something, get dive into something, and probably that's how they are going to be diving out. It's not making sense. So you ought to plan as a student. Like as a vital student, you ought to plan. There's a necessity for planning. Like planning cannot be overemphasized. You ought to plan in every stage of your life. So planning is going to still help you in navigating your life after school. The brutal truth. I don't know. Anyways, we have few things. Our life initiation today is not going to be lengthy or a kind of too long like usual. We got other activities that we're going to be fixing. So we're going to we'll still have a few minutes anyway. Don't be scared. We still have a few minutes and it's fine, it's fine. This is more like how to avoid regrets as a student. Like I'm a student, I don't want to regret in future, I don't want to be stuck, I want to be confused. Do you get? So this is more like the path how to avoid regrets. And because what we're here to is to save students from frustration, being or losing, I don't know, being stuck in life. That's everything we was saying here. That it's pointing and it's more like guiding on that part. So how to avoid regrets? Firstly, is if we're talking about if we're talking about how to avoid regrets, firstly is understand your cause. You cannot solve a problem that you don't know. You cannot do something that you don't know. Understand your cause. First part in taking, like first part to sorry guys, my network was fluctuating. I don't know. I I tried fixing it somehow somehow. I don't. Well, let me progress. As I said, my minutes, my time is not bad now. Kind of. Well, I was saying something about what was I saying? Okay, I said how to avoid regrets. More like escape way. If you don't want to regret, don't want to be confused, don't want to be stuck, don't want to ever regret of ever being a student, of ever taking up a course, taking up a career path. This is more like escape way. So first is understand your course. There's something about understanding something. Like if you understand something, there is this confidence, there is this intentionality, like there is this strong mind. Do you get? So it's just more like now let's use for instance let's say you were taught in school maybe in a particular event and you understood it well, like you get it. Even when you're writing that you're not going to panic, you're going to be strong, you're going to be like I will smash it. Obviously, so that's one thing about understanding something. Like if you get to understand something, it do helps. Like there's this confidence, there is this kind of energy. So if you ever want to not to regret, understand your course. Now understanding your course will help you in knowing where you're going to end with it, the necessary skills that necessitate or that you're going to be requiring in actually executing it with. Do you get? So that's more like understanding it, understanding all it means, what you're going to be doing maybe in your future if you continue with the work or with the course. So probably you get it. So that's what understanding it means. And when you understand it, you're going to maybe sort out the best ways to do things. Then you're not going to be regretting. Understanding is part of it. And valuable skills, valuable skills. There's something about valuable skills. It helps. Now, tech is part of it. If you're a student, if you're skillful, I said it's an extra advantage. Now, imagine, let's just assume that you're studying what's it called? or mass communication. Mass communication is actually a discipline. Now, it's more like media, a kind of I don't know, it's more like media stuff, television and all of that. So that's more like communication or mass communication. Now maybe if you want to add it up with the skill, because we were talking about not regretting, now maybe you're going to add it to content, do you get? And that's more like, is what really is taking over, because people are no longer waiting to watch people on television and all of that. They just get to YouTube and all of, so it's best you merge it up with skills, merge it up with explore opportunities, like just be relevant, get to adapt. That's just the emphasis. Now, gain experience early. Experience is the eye teacher, and when you're experiencing something, you're definitely going to do it better than people around, that first time people. Even when you're going to be employed, they are going to ask you, do you have any experience in this? So experience really matters in anything, you get. So build direction. If you have direction, if you know what you're chasing, getting it is going to be easier and a kind of closer. Do you get, like direction? If I know that I want to cross the road, I will focus and cross the road. But if I don't have direction, I may be wandering around the road. I will say, so this is about direction. If you have direction, if you have focus, you're definitely going to get there easier and faster, because you have focus, is the direction. You're going to create milestones to actually get there. So that's what that's what direction means. And if when you have direction, you're actually going to skip, like you're not going to be regretting. Now, if you are already in the wrong course, this is more like action stuff. Like if you're already regretting, do you get? If you're already feeling stuck, if you're already not knowing what you're going to be figuring out with your course or discipline, more like the way out. This is more like the escape way. Like if I'm already stuck with my career, what I'm about to say is just more like the escape way, how you're probably going to be fixing it. So one is that upgrade yourself. This because you're on the matter, you're on the issue. Just more like, this is not avoiding, it's amendments. We're doing amendments here now. Now this is maybe people that it's not their fault, they were not opportunity to get the knowledge, nobody told them, so they make mistakes, like they choose courses because parents compare or friends suggested, or they feel that it matters, and now they are regretting it, now they are into the problem. Now the best thing to do is amendment, because you cannot actually come out from it, no way out is to make amendments, and it kind of get to be relevant. So upgrade yourself. Upgrading has to do a lot of things. Skillful or skillful aspect is it's included, like master of upgrading. So that's more like you're going to be upgrading. Combine your career with skills. Combine your course with skills. Now, if you're an accountant, you're going to learn data analysis. You're going to be competent in anything that has to do with marketing and all of that. Everything. So this is because you're already in the mess. Like you're already in the problem. What the best thing to do is just to figure out possible ways to actually do it better, because you're into it already. So it's not to avoid it, it's to get up with it or get to manage it, more like amendment, as I said. So you're going to upgrade yourself. If you're already in the wrong course, you upgrade yourself. Like if I've already chosen wrong paths, if I'm already regretting it, I'm going to upgrade. So course objective, okay, I just mentioned this 40 minutes already. Anyways, we have exhausted today's demonstration just like that too. And everything we said there is just more like the objective is more like discover how to fix it, even if you're already in the wrong stuff. That is more like the last point we mentioned. If you're already in the mess, like if I've already chosen a wrong course, I'm going to upgrade myself, I'm going to fix it, not to run away because I'm already in it factor. So that's more like that, guys. As I said, our stay is kind of numbered. It only come. It's going to be a time when we're going to stream for 2 days, like day in day out. Garrett, I mean it. It's going to come. It's a process. It's a step by step. We're not rushing it. Yes. So that's for that, guys. So we just exhausted the live stream session. Like we have other things to really cater for, to fix. Do you get? And need to rest. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for joining. most of my audience is not active like people that participated. Much love, not take it for granted. I really appreciate the fact. And uh you can check us on other social media handle: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We have graphics. Get to connect with us, to get to talk better, and maybe you can share our links to people or refer people to us. Share our links to people, share our videos to people, or suggest stream sessions to people that you know that needs this, that probably are going to be benefiting from this, because it's more like opening their eyes. Reality that school is never teaching. School wasn't even structured to teach that. It's only our life stream sessions is structured to teach it. Obviously, so that's more like it, and that's more like we're aiming, and we're planning to reach out to a lot of a good number of youths, a good number of students. Actually, in fact, they're more like self-development, like mind development. Sorry, I mean, get to develop their mind, get to tell them things, like get to update them on the reality and the changes of life, so that they are not going to feel stuck even after going to school. Obviously, so that's what was set for, and that's what our objective. So if you have seen us for the first time, get to subscribe and be our community. We'll share cookies, we'll bring cookies for you, we'll bring cookies for you. Okay, so I'm just kidding. Anyways, thanks for joining. I really appreciate the fact you joined, and it's never taken for granted. So thanks. Kind of leaving. Anyways, the session was splendid. It went so not too bad. We're growing. It's a movement. This is growth. It's more like a process. It's I don't know. I'm motivating now, not to that stage. Now motivation I they give now. Anyways, thank you guys. Much love. I appreciate the fact you joined. And we're going to be streaming tomorrow. So our normal streaming time is from 1 p.m. But most times, if we have lectures, because we're still a student, so if we have lectures, we're going to be streaming late because it don't affect our time. So we're still a student and we're still schooling. So we've not actually fixed in what's it called a kind of a steady time for streaming sessions. So our time is a bit fluctuating, but we stream every day. That's just the facts. Anyway, guys, much love. See you tomorrow. We're off. Like, we're off. Thanks for joining. Get to subscribe and share links. Refer people to our stream sections, and you get your cookies.